What's going on, guys? How we doing out there? Happy Monday to everyone. Yet another week. Still at it. Still streaming. Who would have thunk that I'd keep going again? But yeah, I'm back. I am back with my itchy nose and everything. What's going on, guys? How we doing? What is new and exciting? For me, just more work. I'll show you the headway. I made some decent headway. Got sidetracked by some other work, but did make a little progress. If you remember when we were hanging out on Friday, I was animating the number one character before we started talking about movies and television for about 50 minutes. Got totally distracted on that, right? But yeah, so I got part of the way on animating the number one character. So since then, I've actually pretty much finished her. Not the facial stuff, you know. As you know, if you've seen my previous stuff, I do the body pass and then come back and address the facial and the lip sync later. But I pretty much got her in good shape. I may still tweak things, little bits here and there, but I'm okay right now. So I started on the captain, part of the way through. So you'll find out easy enough where it drops off because he starts moving less parts of his body and then just comes to a screeching halt. But anyways, all that said, here we go. Let's, let me fire this up. Here you go. And this is the current progress. So, latest and greatest.
Sir, the self-destruct was deactivated.
Well done, number one.
It wasn't me, sir.
Ah, okay. So it must have been the Tribble then. Well, in that case, we better set a course back to the ship before it figures out how to engage warp.
Well played, sir. Well played.
There you go. Lucchini! Where's the just chatting guy? Busted right off the bat. Yeah, I didn't pull the trigger on that just because I didn't really have enough time to get stuff set up. Because if I'm going to do a chat, right, kind of like this, I kind of get everything prepared. I know what I'm going to work on for the most part, right? And I'll work on that until I get, you know, sidetracked with talking like this. But if I'm going to do the chatting thing, I got to, like, get stuff prepared to talk about, right? You know, I mean, focus on something. And, I mean, it can spiral out from there. But I would at least, normally when I start these things, there's not too much chat. I mean, it's nice that you're here to change that. But, so anyways, I'm basically just trying to, you know, do the soft shuffle here. The soft step. So I can justify the fact that I didn't do it yet. I'm not saying that I won't, but I want to make sure that I actually have, like, stuff to talk about, right? Either a movie or a genre or a TV show or that kind of stuff. And I did not have time to put it together. I had to do some tech support today. You know, that's the joys of being the computer literate one in the family is when something goes wrong, you are the inexpensive version of the Geek Squad. So I was running around until literally like half an hour ago. So anyways, that's my excuse. But I'm happy to talk movies, right? I got plenty to talk about too because I actually managed to squeeze in some stuff over the weekend. So if you want to talk movies, happy to do it. Or TV shows. You know me. But what's going on with you? In the meantime, I'll just kind of like work here until you provoke me into movie TV talk. I'll just sort of actually be semi-productive. But how's your weekend? Anything new and exciting? Let's see.
Sir, the self-destruct was deactivated.
For me, I had a good weekend. The next gaming project, I basically got all the main characters modeled and textured with the help of an outside crew that's doing the texturing. I did the modeling and they did the texturing, and I 3D modeled. Yeah, 3D. Yeah, the next one's 3D. A point-and-click adventure game in 3D. Excuse me. So anyways, yeah, so I have, like, the main characters done. Sent them off to the IP holders. What can I tell you now about that? I can tell you a little bit. It's nothing there's no NDA that I can't talk about it, but it's more or less because I want to try and get some publisher, hopefully, attached to it. And I don't want to go public quite yet before I at least have that initial conversation with them. So, okay, for the context, my game plan is to do a little teaser video and then do a vertical slice and present that to publishers. And so the first step obviously was getting all the characters modeled and textured, and I sent them off as a group to the IP holders to get their blessing, and they kicked back on 4 of them. And to be honest, rightly so. They were good. I was going in a stylized fashion, and the more I went, the more I was getting more stylized with some of the characters. And they came back and they go, "Yeah, could you make these 4 kind of look like the other characters?" And I was like, "Okay." So I spent the weekend revising the models, sent it back out, and I got a big thumbs up. So now that's awesome, which means I can start rigging those characters and working on that little teaser, right? And yeah, I was happy. It was very kind, and he gave the big thumbs up, so I'm excited about that. But okay, what can I tell you? Obviously, it's an intellectual property, so it's based off an existing IP. It is how far do I want to go? It's sci-fi. Electro what? Electro Woman and Dyna Girl. That's it. I'm doing a video game version of Electro Woman and Dyna Girl with what was her name? Diane Hall, or she was like the soap opera star. Killer Tofu, what up? Didn't hear what you said before. Okay, I'm not sure which part because I talk so damn fast that once it goes out, it's out of the brain. Let's see, I was talking about the vertical slice, electric something part. When I was describing what the actual show is, or when I was talking about getting the stuff approved, I'm not sure which part I went squirrely on you. Oh, the existing IP. Okay, yeah, I said it is sci-fi, and then and then some name. Yeah, Electro Woman and Dyna Girl. There you go. That's what I said. Dig that one up. That's from the old Sid and Marty Krofft days, from my childhood, watching the old Sid and Marty Krofft show. God, I love those shows, man. They were so terrible, but for a young kid, they were awesome, man. They had the yeah. So no, I didn't mention that. Nice try. That was good. That was a good try. But never heard of it. Okay, now I gotta dig that up. That'll be and Dyna Girl. This will be before pretty much everyone's time. Deidre Hall, was that her name? I'm looking it up. Who was it? She was a soap opera star. Yeah, Deidre Hall. Yeah! There you go. I pulled it out. Look at that. So, Electro Woman and Dyna Girl. I gotta find a better picture than that. There you go. Yep. Well, oh god. I was just talking about Electro Woman and Dyna Girl. You know what? I'm just gonna stop it right there. So yeah, Diana Hall was a famous soap opera star, and I'm not sure whatever became of Electro Girl. I guess they rebooted it a couple times, but anyways, yeah, Electro whatever. So no, but the next game is based off an intellectual property. I'll just say TV and sci-fi, and I'll leave it there. Okay, sci-fi because damn, I'm all about sci-fi, aren't I? I love my sci-fi. But yeah, let's make a good headway. Let's see, whose last name is 2016 movie actor who has an actor whose last name is Chitty. Cheaty? I'll just say Cheaty. How about that? I'll pronounce it that way. It's a little less offensive, I guess, right? Wow. But yeah, so and I'm still doing that, and I just got notes on my freelance job. Clayton Chitty sounds like a Western kind of cowboy star name. That was a character or an actor? Actor. Really? There you go. He's a Canadian actor. Oh, he's Canadian. That's why. That's... I have no idea what that means. Oh, okay. He was in like the remake version. All right. Did someone say what? Killer Tofu wakes up. Do we do a little more homework, Killer Tofu? Did you manage to squeeze in any more of those suggested titles since we last talked? Movies. It was plural. I gave several suggestions. Yeah. Well, Silverado being right there at the top of the list, of course. That's Clayton. Yeah, he might have. You might want to consider a name change there, but I guess I don't know. I guess he's doing okay. Let's see how many movies he's been in or TV shows. Some crouching. Oh, you practicing some crouching animations. Smart move. There you go. That's cool. Okay, he played Kevin Federline in the Britney Ever After movie thing. So, okay. Anyways, not going down that rabbit hole. Excuse me. All right, so I'm still bad. Still bad at doing like real versions of that or trying to animate. Excuse me. Lunch has come back on me there. But yeah, you still got a couple movies on that list. But okay, so should I just go ahead and just start talking movies again? Don't feel bad. I mean, you hear me, right? I mean, for me, I guess the closest I ever get to ringing endorsement of my own work is when I say, I guess that sucks less. Yeah, exactly. Mr. Brutal. Well, I got a pro at trashing my own stuff. How about that? But yeah, and I just got notes on from the client on the paid gig. So I'll have to go to work on that tonight, put in some time. Me with 20 minutes of experience. That's all you need, man. 20 minutes. I mean, you move the character around, right? You hit save, you kick it out, you go home, have a beer. You know, that's animation in a nutshell right there, right? Yeah, what did that guy say? If you just like play with it for like 2 weeks, then you're a master at it? Isn't that, you know? Jerk.
Well done.
Actually, I was going to do this. I was going to change this so I can kill the audio because I don't need the audio for this, but did get in a little bit of movie watching, as I was mentioning over the weekend. I watched, any of you guys ever seen Homeland with Jason Statham, Mr. Action Star, Mr. Midwestern? He's in Louisiana, but he's still got a British accent. Homelander? Okay. Yeah, slightly different one. It was funny, though. So I watched over the weekend, and it's, you know, a tough guy moves in a small town, upsets the locals, and chaos ensues, right? And it's just him defending his turf and killing lots of people kind of stuff, right? And it's funny because I was watching that, and I got this deja vu feeling. It's like, you know, this feels a lot like the last Rambo movie. And I go look on IMDb, and Homeland was written by Sylvester Stallone. So my God, Homeland, and I mean, it's like he made no effort, right? To when he decided he's gonna go back and make the last Rambo movie, he's like, "You got any ideas?" And he goes, "No." He's like, "Hey, yeah, Sly, why don't you just take that previous movie you wrote and just kind of change a little bit, just make it like evil people that come over the border, right? We'll make it the same thing. It will still make it drug dealers that all need to die, right? But yeah, he is. He's in the new Suicide Squad. Oh, damn. Okay, so it's gonna be like the Expendables Part 12 or whatever it is. So you watched the first 2 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier. He's the shark guy. Okay, I'm showing my ignorance. I don't know that much, but okay. Shark guy. I don't know DC. I know some Marvel, but okay. Yeah, I know I talked about this before, but if I have any small interest in watching a movie, I basically never watch trailers because I invariably pull way too much out of them, right? And I find spoilers that kind of damage the experience for me. So I've not watched the trailer. I heard it's pretty dark, right, for a trailer. So you watched the first episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Thoughts? I mean, spoiler-free thoughts, I guess, but I liked it. How's that for a waffling thumbs up? Yeah, same way with games. I go in as blind as I can. That's awesome. Yeah, if it's the genre you like and the reviews are good, yeah, why would you want to pay money for something that you've already had stuff ruined for? So, Killer Tofu, I'm completely on board with you on that. I liked parts of Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I don't know. I don't know if I just sort of reached the threshold. I mean, WandaVision I enjoyed because I felt like it was sort of novel, right? I thought the entire storyline for WandaVision was pretty unique, right? I mean, you watch the first couple episodes and you're kind of going, where the hell is this even going, right? And it just kind of pulls itself together, but it's not more of the same. Whereas, Falcon and the Snowman, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it feels more like, okay, remember what we did before, where we go out and fight bad guys, and then we talk about it, then we go out and fight bad guys? It kind of, it kind of feels that kind of thing. I like that it's way better than the trailer showed. Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't actually see the trailer for it, but do they kind of screw that up? But yeah, I mean, we'll watch the whole series, but I'm not sure. I'm not like biting in the bit for it. But the older I get, the more judgmental I get, I guess. I think that might be totally true. But let's see. So yeah, I was watching that and good. I'm glad I'm not the only one becoming the grumpy gamer. But yeah, and then last night, I needed more sci-fi fix, right? And I'm going through my collection. I've watched all good, legitimate sci-fi, and nothing's worse than something coming up on Netflix, like new sci-fi. You get excited, and then you go to IMDb, and it has like a 3.2 review, and you just kind of go, damn it. Why does sci-fi have to suck so bad? So I kind of went for the least trashed sci-fi that I hadn't seen, and that was Jupiter Ascending, which is like 40 years old at this point. 4 years old. I was always judgmental, and I can literally prove it with a picture of me as a kid if you want. Sure. Yeah, I can tell you I'm judgmental because the way I know that I am very judgmental about this stuff is, if you remember a while back, Netflix used to actually have star ratings. Do you remember that? Right? Where you can actually rate it like 1 to 5 stars. Excuse me. And it was great because it would show the user rating in stars for all the Netflix shows, right? Yeah. But it would show that, and then it would show the user review, and below that it would show this is what we think you were gonna rate it, and every time my stars would be like 1.5 lower than whatever the groupthink was. So, yeah, you miss them too. Yeah, I really do. But I thought it was hysterical because it's not like it occasionally happened. I'm talking consistently, right? It would always say that, users think this is a 4.5. You'll probably think it's a 3. It's kind of like, damn, do I hate this stuff that much? Am I that critical? Right? Or, is everyone else just too indulgent? I'm not sure which. But, yeah, I really do. I miss those too. My solution has just been... to go to IMDb, right? Look at the stars, and if it's like blatantly low, right? If it's just gratuitous, like 2 or 3 point out of 10, then I pretty much don't bother. But if it's like middle ground, then what I'll do is I'll go to the user reviews and I'll immediately go to like the 1 or 2 stars and figure out what they hated about it. And if there's a recurring theme of why they hate it, and if it's something that would bug me, right? Then I know it's something I can pass on. But okay, here we go. We got yeah. It looks like you're doing your best. What you talking about, Willis? Kind of. That's great. Pure attitude. I love it. I love it. That's great. That's so great. Yeah, you look at my baby pictures, and my look when someone puts in milk first and then the cereal. Yeah, my baby pictures are more like this. You know, I swear to God. Actually, my mom. This is a true story. This is embarrassing but true. My mom, when she first started dating what would become my stepfather, right? To this day, they're still married, right? But she said that she was young when she met my stepfather. She was still in her mid to late 20s, right? Late 20s. And she goes, oh, and I have a young son, right? And he's like, oh, do you have a picture? And she pulls out a baby picture of me, right? Where I'm like an infant, right? Crawling across the bed, right? With this look going like that. And I swear to God, my stepfather looked at the picture and he goes, so is he like mentally, Turns out he was right, but so yeah, apparently I didn't photograph well as a kid, In the same picture, my cousin looked just the way you now did. Oh, really? Yeah, sure. Go ahead and show me the other half of that. Yeah, he's gonna be a 3D designer, so he must be. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty much the expression of every one of my baby pictures. Oh, my pictures from my youth. That's great. I resemble that expression. Oh, he did? He became a model. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, that's good because, model, you have to be able to sit there and kind of go, hmm. So, I mean, he already had, oh, she. Oh, this is she. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, that is young. That's hard to tell. That's funny. Okay. Sorry about that. She. Cousin doesn't differentiate. So in fairness to me, I don't want to look too stupid. But then again, I told you. I get a ring endorsement for my baby pictures. So, does he wear a helmet when he goes to school? In Germany, the word for cousin does differentiate. Yeah, most languages do, I think, right? I know Spanish has gender associations with it, so we're too lazy, right? We're just kind of like that one over there, that one, yeah. You mean I gotta conjugate? Oh no. Oh God. So yeah. Anyway, sad but true. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna try and quasi work here. What do you think? Well, I was born and raised in Atlanta, so thank you. I actually, it's funny because all of my friends back from Atlanta trash me whenever ironically, did you watch Atlanta? I did. I did for has very few gendered words. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I watched the first half season. Amazed by his writing. I laughed so hard. There's so many yeah, paper boy, paper. Yeah, what's funny though is I'll tell you the true story. So yeah, like I was slightly a part of that, right? Because I worked. We're talking like late '80s, early '90s. Okay, in the '90s, I was working doing video editing, right, and stuff like that. And because it's Atlanta, yeah, I did a lot of black-oriented content, right, and like music videos, right. My biggest claim to fame is a music video by an artist named Black Dave called Go Big Girl, right? And I edited that one. The song was used, I think, in like Big Mama's House 2 or something like that, right? Yeah, Black Dave, right? Go Big Girl, what you gonna do? Go Big Girl, right? But yeah, so I mean, in a cursory fashion, right? I mean, it's not like I was living in the same area, but when I watch Atlanta, I have a connection to it because I went to college in downtown Atlanta, so I mean, yeah, that's oh, there you go, really. So that's there you go, that's literally you. Oh man, yeah, I don't even know that video. We've come full circle, truly. That's too funny. But yeah, I was really enjoying it. My frustration with Atlanta, and it's on Hulu, so I'll probably come back to it at some point for sure. But my frustration, and I mean, the way you're bringing up, I assume you've actually watched it, is the fact that Donald seems to be like bouncing, right? Okay, you watched both seasons. My frustration was like we're kind of going in a direction, right? And then we just sort of like it's almost like, well, forget that. I want to talk about this now and go in like a totally different direction with different characters, and in a very episodic fashion, there'd be stuff that happens, right? Like when he gets caught with a gun, right? And then the next episode, there's almost like no inference to it. It almost feels like either there was like a long time jump, and that was a long time ago and we don't reference it anymore, or it's just kind of like that was a funny moment and it's completely disregarded from that moment on. Switches between things. Yeah, and I mean like the girlfriend, when we have the whole storyline with her, and then the Justin Bieber episode, right? Which are fascinating standalones, right? And if they were just one-offs, then I probably would have appreciated it much more. But because it is a thematic show, right, it was strange for me to be caring about a storyline and then kind of go, where did it go, right? It was in season 1, but it was as good as it was like the whole time. Yeah. I was like, well, where is he? Yeah. And I mean, but I liked it. And I mean, I like the fact that, it's the old adage, write what you know, right? And I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen the stand-up comedy routine that Donald did, right? He talks about his childhood, right? And you do get a sense of where he actually came from. So you get a feeling that Atlanta is something that's near and dear to him. He's not just sort of going, hey, they gave me some money to go make a show and I just kind of invent this out of whole cloth. I get a feeling like that's actually some history for him, right? So I did like it, and I will come back to it. I mean, for me, it's a cool thing to just sort of like reflect on, yeah, you think so too? Yeah. But yeah, it's, and I mean, the characters are real, right? And that's one of my biggest qualms with anything that takes place in the South. And I get really touchy about this kind of stuff, is whenever they do stuff in the South, right? And then you have somebody that's never watched or never been in the South before, but they're trying to do it. Kevin Spacey. I'm talking about you, Kevin Spacey. Midnight in the Garden of Evil, where Kevin Spacey does the most amazing impression of Foghorn Leghorn, which is great, but has nothing to do with the South. They're real, they're goofy, they're funny. It's the whole thing. Yeah. And I love Paperboy. And I mean, Kevin Spacey. Okay. Yeah. I'm not quite sure that connects, but yeah, I mean, Paperboy is a perfect example, right? Because to me, I thought the direction it was going to go was kind of like Entourage or Ballers, right? The best TV shows, in my opinion, you have a fantastical story of a character that's like having some amazing experience, right? In Entourage, it is Vincent. Okay. Yeah, okay. But like in Entourage, Vincent has this meteoric rise. Yeah, he did say that, and we all kind of went, yeah, we know, we know. But but to me, the funny thing about like the best shows, like Entourage, although I think went on too long, but in the beginning, excuse me, even though the show focuses around Vincent, right, and his meteoric rise as a movie star, to me, it was never about Vincent. It was always about E, his buddy Eric, right, who was our touchstone. He was the one that we could relate to, because while Vincent was blowing up, Eric was still driving his beat-down 15-year-old vehicle, right? And it just, you need that conduit, right? And I think Atlanta did that beautifully, right? Because Donald is our conduit, right? Paperboy, to me, is the character that is on the meteoric rise, and Donald is the one that has to, like, hang on, right? And he is the one that we relate to because that's more like the kind of story that we all usually face, right? In terms of not having everything just go perfectly well for us. So anyways, my point is that I think, and then Ballers did it as well, right? With Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, handling the money of all these super athletes, you know? So all these guys are living this dream life and, you know, he's not, right? Although both shows, I think, the proverbial jumping of the shark, nuke of the fridge, I think the whole thing is that both of the characters inevitably become successful themselves, and to me that sort of pulls away from the series because you no longer can relate to that character because, you know, show of hands, who drives around in their Lamborghinis on a daily basis? Yeah, no, not so fast. You know, so to me that like detracts from the shows, right? So I haven't got into, I finished season 1, haven't gotten to season 2, so I don't know if they do succeed. But if Donald Glover's character ends up driving around in a beautiful, you know, $200,000-$300,000 car, then to me, you know, he lost the mark, you know. But that's me. All right. Black Dave, Lucchini, you're totally right, man. I should have put this under chat, right? Because I haven't animated a damn thing, and we're 33 minutes in, and I've literally animated nothing. Oh, God, you're right. I'm busted. All right, I'm trying to make up for it now. I'm all serious about animating here, right? Enough of the talk. Shut up already. Move something, right? I guess he represents certain things now, and we can expect certain things because of that. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'd definitely go back to it. You know. I mean, I didn't have nearly the life experience of that, but I mean, I did at least the music scene. I don't know if you picked up on that or if you're aware of it, but the music scene in Atlanta is pretty significant. You know, I mean, I was there on the early days of it, right? And I moved away. I moved to the other side of the coast of California before it really got humongous. But, you know, I mean, I definitely experienced some of that. I worked in a camera rental house for, what, like a year? I can't remember how long ago that was, but we were constantly renting equipment for all the local films and, you know, and the music videos and stuff, and we got to experience some of that where we'd take equipment out to the set and that kind of thing. I'm sure I listened to some Atlanta-based rappers. Let me check. Was he? Let's see. Big Boy. Let's see. So I did actually, just through series of circumstances, I did go to a couple of Andre 3000. Okay. To a couple of listening parties. I got to go to a Babyface listening party, where I don't think he was actually in attendance, or I think he like maybe stuck his head in and like bolted. But Crisscross. I actually went to a Crisscross listening party where they were there actually, you know, enjoying the remaining minutes of their 15 minutes of fame. I think that was when they were on their downswing. Jump. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So, and I don't think it was for that album. I think they had already done that. I think there's like the follow-up, the follow-up album, which was called Bye. Sorry, too soon. You know, I mean, I make the joke, but you know what? If you have such a massive mega hit anyways, right? I think you should just be like happy, right? That you had something, because you know, how many thousands, millions of people try and do it and never succeed, right? You know, never even get that one hit shot, you know? Yeah, so, I mean, you know, as much as it's gotta hurt that you have, you know, I mean, like, there's joke versions, like, you know, the one hit wonders, like, I don't know, like a Vanilla Ice or something like that, where you literally only have one thing that was like something that wasn't even yours anyways, right? you know, you just kind of ripping off other stuff anyways, but you know, I mean, so I should make fun of the fact that they weren't exactly a longer career. Salento? Not a clue about that one. Caius Salento, a rapper, charged with murder and cousin's shooting death. Yikes. Okay. Oh, and the accent is on the O, so it's Salento. Silento. He's born in 98, so he's only like 24 years old, 23 years old. Watch me. Going to jail. Yeah. Oh God, this is February 1st. Oh my God, this was just last month in DeKalb County. There you go. This is new. Yeah, literally just last month. Yeah. So watch me whip. Nene was his big hit. Yeah. So okay, funny story about that. So I'll talk about it because there was an episode where Donald goes to the club to try and get paid, right? Where he's trying to get his money, and it's funny because I had a video camera, right, back in the day, and I was renting myself out with the camera and shooting stuff, and I was invited to shoot a dance club that looked a lot like what you saw in that episode, and it was funny because let's just say that I stuck out, right? I mean, we're talking this was Stone Mountain, right, off of Memorial Parkway, which is now Cynthia McKinney Parkway, right? And it was a massive club, right? And what's funny though is I go in and he tells me to shoot B-roll, which is just walk around and shoot crowds, right? Shoot footage and that kind of stuff. And it's funny because I had two looks, right? People look at me and they kind of look at me like, you're in the wrong place, right? But then they see the camera and then they'd all run up and say, hey, shoot me, right? So, yeah, well, you watched Atlanta. I figured you did your homework. No, fair enough. I'm sorry. I grew up there, so for me, it's like, but it was a very interesting experience because, I mean, it was, part of me is like, okay, you're not supposed to be here, but as soon as the camera was recognized, then it was like, okay, you're cool, right? The way I said it, I was just, I more than anything, I think I was trying to remember myself, right? Because, I mean, I literally have not been back to Atlanta. I mean, I went back for a brief visit, but I haven't been there for any significant amount of time in over 20 years, right? So, I mean, it's for me, it was almost trying to shake the cobwebs out of my own head because, I mean, I was there for decades, but, that was a long time ago. So I was trying to remember it. Yeah. Oh, God, no. Sure. Fire it up. Let me see this. This ought to be good. You are the GIF machine, man. I'm telling you. Oh, wait. It's a YouTube? Uh-oh. Oh, God, no. Yeah, no, if we could just if I could just composite in a movie camera, yeah, that's strange because that old dude stole my dance, man. That was me. That was me on the dance floor right there, man. That's as good as it gets for me. God. Oh, fun times. That's great. Wow, I had no idea that I was. I just thought I was shooting stuff. I didn't realize I was actually getting film myself. That's shocking footage. But yeah, that was a long time ago. But yeah, I haven't, like I said, I haven't been back in ages. Wait, did I mess that up? I did. Interesting. But yeah, that was home for a long time. So anyways, that was Atlanta. Donald Glover. Let's see. Oh yeah, yeah, it got off track. I was going to mention Jupiter Ascending. Tom Glover. Okay. What's his singer nom de plume? What's his singer name? I forgot. Gazpacho. Childish Gambino. I said Gazpacho. I was in the neighborhood. Gambino, Gazpacho. Did you ever see the virtual thing he made? Almost the same. Yeah, tomato, right? But yeah, he did a really fascinating. It was a VR experience, right? And it was a pretty slick piece of creation. It was one of his music videos, and it's just sort of like a visual experience. It's not anything you really do or interact with, right? But it was pretty cool. All right. Should I figure out what the heck I did wrong here? Never heard of it. Yeah, it was done under the Childish Gambino. I don't know if he ever... Let's see. VR... Yeah, Theros VR. That's what it was called. Yeah. I don't know if I could show much of this. I was watching a video, so I don't want to get in trouble, but I was watching a video of this other guy that does talks about songs, right? The history of, right? And it's sort of like a music lesson, right? Excuse me. And he does like these things, but he only plays like literally 8 or 9 seconds worth of music clips, right? And so he doesn't offend. And he's still got strikes against him, right? Which is terrifying, because if you get like 3 strikes, your entire channel disappears overnight and it's gone forever. So I'm like more scared than ever of actually doing anything like playing anything that would get me tagged. But so I'll just kind of strum through this. Oh, this is like a behind the scenes thing. This isn't actually a music video. That's not it. Virtual reality video is here. All right. No, it's just a song. All right, so I guess it's not around anywhere. But yeah, if you have it can do it with either an Android or an iPhone. Just VR Childish Gambino, you should be able to find it. Amazon Prime movie with Rihanna or something. Did you watch that? I think it's still on my list, but I never got around to watching that one. I'm not sure if that's funny or not. I didn't watch it. Yeah, me either. The list is long, you know. And if it had been sci-fi, it would have gone straight to the top of the list. Serious? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good he's expanding, right? But I mean, he's definitely pigeonholed at this point as just being pure comedy for sure, right? I mean, Community for sure, but yeah, haven't seen that one. But oh, so I keep starting talking about Jupiter Ascending, and I kind of keep sliding away on other subjects. But so yeah, it's the Wachowski siblings. You like how I did that there? It's the Wachowski siblings. And I finally got around to watch part of it because it's sci-fi, and it had like a 5 on IMDb, which is right on the cusp of whether I'd bother or not. And I guess because it had been trashed so much, I didn't hate it as much as I thought it would. I haven't finished it, right? It's overblown, convoluted, but in terms of just like a visual, roller coaster ride, it's actually pretty entertaining. I think there's some characters miscast, definitely, but not as terrible as I thought it was, which I guess that's a ringing endorsement. When you say a movie is not as terrible as I thought it was, that's straight at the top of the box office, I guess. He's often still being cast as a comedy guy, but in his own project he tries to do more, which is smart, I mean, absolutely, totally smart to I mean, if you have the chops, right? I think there's plenty of people out there that only have one ability, right? Like, for example, Chevy Chase, speaking of Community. You like how I dovetail there? Chevy Chase is a very funny comedian. Horrible actor, right? He can do comedy if he's just doing his broad, over-the-top comedy. But if you ever have the misfortune of watching Memoirs of the Invisible Man, oh my God, he's terrible. he tries to be serious, and he's just yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, you heard the stories about that, right? I don't. It's well, for those that hadn't. So the funny thing about Chevy Chase, yeah, well, yeah. Well, partly, I think that's part of it, and also the part that Donald had so many other opportunities, to branch into. But so the reality was the fact that Chevy Chase was saying so much offensive stuff that they were literally walking around and writing down all the stuff that he was saying, and then giving it to his character to say, right? And he never made the connection. He literally never made the connection. So much so that they actually even put that into it where he made the website, right? Where what it was like, stuff my racist friend says, or whatever it is, right? And Chevy Chase's character never makes a connection. It's like, wait, you're talking about me there, right? And the irony is the fact that they were pretty much pointing at Chevy, saying that this is all you, man. This is all you. Partly, but after 4 years of listening to that, yeah, it's just, you hate to see that. It's sad. But yeah, so not only is he not a great person, but he's also a terrible dramatic actor. But, it just, there's some that can reach. I think Donald Glover I would assume, I have not seen the dramatic one, but I would assume he can carry his own, right? I mean, actually in Atlanta, right? The first episode alone, right? Where he's just barely keeping things together, right? And there's one moment where his timing is like the definition of perfect, right? And it's Paperboy and the other character, I can't remember. They're just sitting on some like tossed out furniture in the grass, and he walks up to him, and one of the guys is saying he's going to talk about he's mentioning this terrible thing he's got going on with him or something like that, and Donald's character is kind of like, yeah, we don't have to talk about that now. And then he starts talking, he goes, or we could, and it's just, the timing was beyond just comedic. It was just pitch perfect, right? And I laughed so hard because it's so subtle, but it's just the way he sold that line, which is so amazing. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'd like to see. Okay, yeah, it's on my Hulu list. So I will definitely get to it. It's further down only because I'm a pain, and Hulu puts commercials in their TV shows. So I have to be more jazzed up to see it, just because I know that I'm gonna have to sit through a bunch of commercials. But yeah, absolutely on the list. So I'm pretty sure that episode I was talking about was in season 2. Okay. And they acted it out so well. Yeah. But I mean, he does that, right? I mean, like, there was the girlfriend where it ends up being all about her, right? Where it was really strange because it's not like we traditionally in a show like that where you would sort of like have the main characters and then let the camera drift into the other person, but it just immediately went to her and stayed with her for the whole episode, right? Which, I mean, it was really actually a cool notion, but it was very jarring by cinematic standards, right? Anyway, but yep, I'll definitely return to it. All right. So I'm kind of animating, right? I'm making a couple of keyframes here, so that kind of counts, right? So, anyways, so Jupiter Ascending, beautiful look at, and I'm not, to be honest, I'm not a major fan of the Wachowski siblings. I thought Matrix was fantastic. I mean, pushing the envelope on so many levels, but the question mark then is the story that went around saying, did they actually come up with that story, right? Or did they steal it? And they, of course, denied it. But to me, the counter argument that they did steal it is Matrix 2 and Matrix 3. That is a good counter argument that, yeah, they stole the original story, because I thought the follow-up movies were just painful. But, and then, like, what they produced, they didn't actually direct, but V for Vendetta, which I know has a massive following, and I know there's people that just absolutely love the crap out of it, but did nothing for me. Cloud Atlas, I liked elements of it, but I didn't think it was nearly as good as everyone else was kind of going on. I didn't get it. But and the irony is the fact that Jupiter Ascending is been bashed so badly that I guess my expectations were so low that I'm kind of enjoying it. Maybe it's just because it's so much sci-fi, and I mean the visual effects are beautiful, right? But and I'm so desperate for anything halfway decent sci-fi. Oops, where's my controls? Oh, here we go. So I lost this one finger. I think he's kind of doing something weird here. That's this guy. So just kind of bend him down that way. There we go. But yeah, Homeland. God, that was a movie. Speaking of like bad accents, some of them. Jason Statham. He tries to do like a New Orleans drawl, which, for the record, I think a proper New Orleans drawl is one of the hardest things to do on the face of the earth. It is so distinct, right? And it's so easy to get wrong. People just think it's a Southern drawl, and if you do, then you've totally screwed it up to begin with. But Jason's, for like the first 3 lines of dialogue, it almost sounds like he tries to put a little twang or something in there, and then he just goes back to the British accent, right? You know, he's just like, screw it, right? I mean, I love the fact that he plays an undercover character, right? And this is in the beginning of the movie. No spoilers, because this is literally the first 10 minutes of the movie, but he plays an undercover character, right? In a biker gang, you know, and he's like the secret, the mole, but at no point does anyone kind of go, hey, has anyone noticed that the dude over there, like, speaks with a British accent? You know? You know, the guy that just showed up recently, he's been hanging with us for the last couple months. No one ever noticed the fact that that's like, I swear to God, is that British? You know? Yeah. But there's like a little girl in there that plays his daughter. She's actually fantastic. I looked her up briefly, but if she can like stay sane, which is a lot to ask for a child actor these days, but I think she actually has a really good future ahead of her. Alright, so that's a bit fast. Tell you what, we'll do this over 2. Oh, well, let me do it this way. Let's see. Oh, I was talking about Invincible, right? That's right, because I watched, the last time we were talking, I'd watched the first episode, right? And that's the animated, sort of like somewhere between Marvel and The Boys. It's not quite as cynical as The Boys, but it's definitely not Marvel-esque in terms of its, yay, we're good. And I mentioned that I saw the first episode, and I was talking about the fact that I didn't really get into it, right, until the last, like, 10 minutes, and then it got me, right? But then I finally got around to watching the second episode, and yeah, that has really good potential. It's a fun setup. We'll see. I don't know if it can carry it, but and I think it's only going to be about 6 episodes, which kind of sucks. It's going to be a short run, I guess, but yeah, so far it's pretty entertaining. We'll see how it goes. Oh, let me key these. See, I'm kind of working, right? Lucchini went silent on me, so I'm actually trying to sneak in some work before I get totally distracted again. Uh-oh. Wait to watch that until all episodes are out. I think it's only going to be 6. At least that's what IMDb says. And I think they're releasing, like, they released the first 3 in a batch all at once, and I think the next 3 are getting released in April. So I think they'll just all kind of come out together. But yeah, it's definitely more grown up. It even says that too, right on the screen when you go to it. It's like 8 episodes. Oh, okay, until April 30th. Sweet. Okay, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, and then maybe release 2. But yeah, and the voice actors in it too are just so much fun to. I mean, there's so many great famous actors and actresses in it. It's just like, that's awesome. No spoilers. I want to talk about some of the people are in it because that's part of the fun is, and that's what I love about Amazon too. Amazon has this so much better than Hulu and Netflix. I love the fact that you just, mouse cursor over the screen and you automatically get the X-ray where it shows like who's on the screen at the moment, right? And it talks about like that, because for animated, you have no, for live action, you can kind of go, wait, that kind of looks like, so-and-so, right? Yeah, X-ray is awesome. But yeah, word of warning, never do trivia until after you've finished the episode. If you look at trivia at the beginning or middle of an episode, I guarantee you're going to have spoilers, right? It shows they put effort in it. All right, welcome back. But yes, especially with the animated, where you kind of hear the voice and you don't necessarily make the connection, and you mouse cursor over and you kind of go, oh, sweet, no way. Wow. Some of them you kind of go, oh, yeah, I totally hear that. But there's at least a two that I was kind of like, I never would have guessed that, man. I never would have made that connection. That's awesome. Let's see. Yeah, maybe if I come... Whoop, oh, wrong thing. Oops, wrong thing again. There it is. Let's try and go like... Maybe if I tuck it down here. It's okay. I think if I put some life in the fingers, that may not suck totally. Yeah. I'll think about it. All right. I read something interesting about an actor. How about this? You want to play trivia? I got a great trivia question for you. It was a life story. Yes? Okay. It was a life story about an actor. Okay, sweet. There you go. And then rubber cookie for whoever gets the answer right. So there was a moderately famous actor. So he was actually born with, and I didn't know, I never heard of this before. If memory serves correctly, I think he had what was referred to as tuberculosis of the spine, right? And it left him bedridden, right? And it was diagnosed when he was like 2 or 3 years old, and he was bedridden for a decade. And when I mean bedridden, they like put like full body cast stuff on him, stuff like that. So he was stuck in his bed, right, for like 10 years of his life. And yeah, you have heard of something like that about? Okay, spoilers. Do you already have this one beat? So most people, I think, would just lose it, right? I mean, I know if I was literally trapped on a bed for a decade, right? And I mean, this is the time frame. You'll pick up on the time frame in a second, but excuse me. I mean, I just imagine, right? Just your whole youth, right? Your early years are spent like that. Not yet, but I feel like I guess. Okay, so there'll be hints along the way. So so his solution is to just joke about it, right? So he makes up funny stories in his head. He makes jokes. He makes it a contest to try and he tries to make a contest to try and make the nurses laugh. Yeah, like the bad guy in the train in Once Upon a Time. Yeah, exactly, right? When he's stuck in the water, you're just like, oh god. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot like that, right? But he's literally, so up until the age of, like for a decade, he's stuck there, right? And finally, he gets moved to the Shriners Hospital in San Francisco, right? And they treat him, and fantastic news, they actually successfully treat him, and he is able to move. He's able to have full body motion again, right? Which is fantastic, except for the fact that it was just in time for him and his family to be put into an American internment camp. This is 1936, right? I think that's what the year was, if I remember the story correctly. I'm paraphrasing. Don't get mad if I have the date slightly off. So he goes from a bed prison, right, into an internment camp in the U.S., and it's so sad because he's finally able to run free, but then he can't because of where he is. and he's lamenting leaving the hospital because at least in the hospital he was treated well, right? So, so finally the war ends, and everything proceeds. And how old was he in the camp? Well, I would guesstimate like 12 or 13, because he was diagnosed when he was like 2 or 3, and it lasted for a decade, right? So I think the math is right on that. So his father opens up I believe a restaurant, and if I'm correct, I think it's Sacramento. His father opens a restaurant, and he's working with his father in the restaurant, and and so he's happy again, right? He's finally happy, and he's a pretty upbeat guy. But then his father dies in a hit-and-run accident, and that goes away, right? So he reluctantly ends up taking an office job, and he's working in office, just doing the regular thing. But then he realizes that he's got to do something, right? So he just decides he's going to become a stand-up comic, and he ends up succeeding. He actually does very well, and he ends up progressing onto some TV shows, and he has a long stretch doing TV shows as a comedian, and he's very successful. And then this movie comes up where, excuse me, the director wants to put him in the movie, right? But the studio just automatically says no, because the movie's serious, and he's a comedian. He's a funny man, right? We're not going to put him in the movie, right? And the director fought for the longest time, and the studio wouldn't budge. The producer wouldn't budge. So the director surreptitiously basically brought the actor aside and shot footage of him, right? And did a screen test. And he got in front of the producer, and without telling the producer anything, he put the movie in there and played it for the producer. And he goes, "Here, watch this," right? And the producer watched it, and he went, "Yeah, he's got the role. He's got it. I'm sorry, you were right. He can do it." And he got the role. And it became the thing he was most famous for in the end, right? Unfortunately, he also had a really bad drinking problem. And unfortunately, he died of complications from his alcoholism. But that's going to be as much as I'm going to give. But see if in that ring a bell. What do you think? Any guesses in there? Because I can actually show you the Marlon Brando. No, Marlon Brando wasn't in an internment camp. No, but age-wise, I think we're in the neighborhood, but no. And okay, and also Marlon Brando was never a comic, right? Marlon Brando was only funny when he wasn't trying to be funny. Okay, so now I got to go on the Marlon Brando sidetrack here. He was in a movie called oh god, what was it called? The Heist, I think it was. George Takei. No, actually, you're pretty close on the age rise, right? Takei, unfortunately, was also in an internment camp in his youth, right? But George Takei, as far as I know, never did comedy. Definitely didn't do stand-up comedy, right? So I don't think he really did any comedy. He became funny in his later years, right? Hi there, right? when he coined that classic, "Hi there," right? I mean, which is great. But no. So to go back to Marlon Brando for a second. So I think it's The Score. That's what it was. He was in a movie with Robert De Niro, right? Called The Score, which is directed by the great Frank Oz, right? And you heard of this movie at all? So the whole point of a director is to guide the actors, right? Marlon Brando was so full of himself, and I'm sorry, I do not. I think Marlon Brando had a fascinating, fantastic early career, but the older he got, the more I, to be honest, just do not like the guy at all. So he stopped, we're talking about the 70s, he stopped learning scripts at all. And he would either have cue cards off camera, and he would just read his lines literally from cue cards, or later on, he had his assistant with the earpiece that would feed him lines, right? And so and also, oh god, what is his name? Edward Norton is the other one in The Score. Use method acting as an excuse. Yeah, totally agree. So he yeah. So Frank Oz, right? I don't know if you know the name, right? But we're talking about like a massive pedigree for Frank Oz too. So Frank Oz is the director, and he's trying to give notes to Marlon Brando. At which point Marlon Brando famously just said, "You know what? Go away, Miss Piggy," because Frank Oz, of course, was the voice of Miss Piggy, Yoda, right, and all these other characters. So he started referring to Frank Oz not as Frank, or director, or boss, but as Miss Piggy, right? And it got so bad that Marlon refused to even come to set if Miss Piggy was on set. So Frank Oz literally had to leave the set of his own movie whenever Marlon Brando was on set. So if you ever see the movie, the majority of the scenes with Marlon Brando in the movie, the score, were directed by Robert De Niro. Because, of course, De Niro could do no wrong for him. So, anyways, there you go. How's that for his sidetrack there? So, to me, it's so demeaning. It's just so pathetic. But, and I mean, he was so far past his prime at that point. I know, isn't that terrible? Isn't that just terrible? You know? But I mean, he was, yeah. Even going back to Apocalypse Now, right? Oh God. Okay, once again, another sidetrack. But if you ever have the opportunity to see the documentary Hearts of Darkness, which is the documentary behind the making of Apocalypse Now. So, yeah. I don't know what else to get. Okay, he was very famous he was very famous for lots of comedy shows where he played secondary or tertiary characters. For me, my childhood, he was most famous for taking over the God, how do I say this? God, I don't know how to do it without giving it away. It was a restaurant, right? And the original character that ran the restaurant in this comedy TV show left the show, and he came in, even they both had the same name, but a totally different character. Does that help at all? I don't know how to... I could give clues, but they're all... Yeah, you don't think you can guess it? Okay, then I'll tell you. So, the TV show... Let's see. Restaurant. Oh, God. Oh, you're so close, but no. So the TV show, here you go. Here's I'll give you the big giveaway. The TV show was Happy Days. And the restaurant was Al's Diner. Does that help? Maybe? Or I'm just like too old and dating myself. I'm not sure. Nope. All right. So he's doing all his comedy, right? But I think if there were something more recent, well, you're too young, and it's totally possible. So the dramatic movie, and it came out in the 80s. It had 2 sequels, and ended up having like a remake version. No, actually, had 3 sequels because they took the main character and replaced it with a female character, and then they remade it later on. But he wasn't in the remake. But the movie is now remade as a TV show. There you go. That takes place with the original characters from the original movie, but is now with like all these years later. So they're all grown up. Too obscure still? Fargo. That's a good guess, but no. No, that's a good guess. That is a movie, but Fargo had no sequels. So, 80s, aimed towards a younger audience, and it single-handedly spurred on an industry. It actually brought a lot of attention to an entire industry that got very popular after the movie came out. Here, I'll give you a search. I'll give you a hint for a song that was on the soundtrack. And if you search the soundtrack, that'll give away the movie. How about that? It gives you the opportunity to at least try and find it. How about that? Yeah, I'm dragging this out, right? Oh, we're way past too. I should be like wrapping up because I'm not doing a damn thing here. Nope. Anyone? Bueller? Or should I just spill the beans? I could give a blatant hint that would totally give it away. What about that? Blatant hint. Okay. Please. Here we go. You ready? 4 words, and once I say it, it should totally connect. You ready? Wax on, wax off. That should do it. There you go. Pat Morita. The late, great Pat Morita. So imagine, so he played Al. When the original Al character on Happy Days left, he came in and filled the space, right? And he had this insane laugh, right? He would always come out and go, wah! And he was just amazingly gifted stand-up comic. And he'd been doing comedy for decades. So when the director wanted him to play Mr. Miyagi, they said, oh, hell no. He's a comedy guy, right? He can't, as Chevy Chase demonstrates, right? Comedy people can't do drama, but no, some can. So, yeah, so, I mean, I won't play it here because, once again, I'm, oh, really? I won't say you have to see it. And the reason I say that is because it is a relic of the 80s, without a doubt. It is a total relic of the 80s. Yeah, the Jaden Smith version. Yeah, with and Jackie Chan filling in the role for Mr. Miyagi, right? With one of yeah, not even that. But yeah, so they made a couple sequels. Excuse me, and then they ended up doing one where by the point they want to make the 3rd movie, oh shoot, oh, and by the way, the TV show is Cobra Kai, right? So you have Daniel-san, right? You have Daniel all these years later, right? I was just kidding, that movie wasn't good. Yeah, but so I mean, I loved Karate Kid when I saw it in the theater, but I was the right age. But the thing it spurred on, of course, was there was a massive surge in interest in martial arts because of it, right? There was a lot of schools that did well thanks to that movie, right? In the same way that, once again, in the 80s, Top Gun exploded recruitment, right? When that movie came out, I was senior in high school, right? And all of us for 5 minutes going, yeah, we're signing up tomorrow. I want to fly jets, man. That's just the coolest thing ever, And the next day we kind of went, yeah, no, But, I mean, even those of us that would never even really kind of considered pursuing that path, for 5 minutes kind of went, that just seems too cool. So there's plenty that went, yeah, I want to be all over that, and join the military as a result. But anyways, that was my long-winded story about the late great Pat Morita. So unfortunately, he did have a terrible alcoholism problem, and his wife was fully aware, and she even said that was going to kill him, and he was aware, but he just could never shake it. And unfortunately, that ended up costing him his life. And he wasn't that old when he passed away, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, just to me, it is the amazing. The biggest takeaway from that story is the amazing determination and the inner spirit of Pat Morita, right? To have such an amazingly tragic childhood, right? I mean, traumatic to the nth degree, but to turn it into pure comedy, right? And to do it so beautifully, And I'm thrilled that he actually did have the Miyagi role, right? Because there is literally no one else, right? I mean, Jackie Chan's awesome, but no, that will always be Pat Morita, right? So I'm glad he had the opportunity. So there you go. How's that for a wandering diatribe all over the place? You're right. I should actually do that. I should come up with a legitimate thing to talk about, right? This is almost like an old Paul Harvey and the rest of the story kind of thing. Maybe that's what I should do. I should come up with a topic, a random thing, and you have to try and figure out who the heck it is, and just chatting. And then if no one's there, then I'll just keep working in the background. That's it. So if you guys aren't around to bug me, right, and everyone else like always is silent. No one wants to speak. Everyone else's keyboard is broken, so no one else is able to type. I mean, I like you just talking about random shit. It's great, thanks. Well, it's better than actually working. All right. No, but in fairness, though, yeah, and I am definitely the king of useless stuff, right? Of insanely pointless, useless stuff. So, all right. But I guess what I also have to do is like write down what I talk about, so I don't like repeat myself, because I will completely, totally repeat myself if I'm not careful. All right. I got like 5 keyframes done. All right. I guess I should call it that. All right. Is something a lot of Twitch streamers do when new people join. Anyways, really? Drives me nuts, right? I mean, when I'm hearing other people, so it would be hypocritical of me if I was too blatant about it. I think if I can give it enough time, if it's something that I haven't talked about recently, then I can revisit it, I guess. But, I wouldn't want to, like, repeat it too often. I mean, I usually preface it by saying, yeah, I think I talked about this, but and do it anyways. All right, fine. I will come up with a legitimate chat topic, and I swear, on Wednesday, I will switch, because I'm literally doing nothing here, right? I mean, I'm sucking at the productivity. But, okay. So I gotta go find some material then. I gotta go be legit. Do something decent. So it'll be, let's talk about movies, TV, and then maybe make a game. Completely flip it. Okay. But I think I'll do it. Where are we at? We're 3:18. So I'm gonna sneak away here. But, and I butchered it before. Help me out. I don't want to, like, I want to pronounce your name, but I don't want to, like, do it wrong. Oefti? I've always, like, ducked it just because I'm afraid I'm going to butcher it. But I got to come up with it. Oefti? FD. There you go. FD. Got it. And then I have Black Dave. All right, before I go, I'll see if I can find... see if it still exists in the far reaches of the internet. Good girl. Did I find it? Nope. Music video. That's probably not it either, is it? Hold on, checking. Nope. I might be able to pull it out of my own personal stash. Oh, found it. All right, I won't turn out the audio just because, like I said, I don't want to get strikes against me. But here you go. This is a music video that I edited. I have I did it on my computer system. This was like, I had it was HD, or excuse me, I mean DV tapes. I was editing with DV quality tapes, and I got the quality's terrible. I should actually dig out my DV tape and upload a better quality version of this, don't you think? But yeah, this is me using a Miro DC30 nonlinear editing system back in the day. So there you go. Truly old school. Yes, this was just barely half a step beyond the most primitive version of Avid. But there you go. So that is as close as that's as close as I get to my Donald Glover Atlanta music video kind of thing. But look at that. He even did a A or B with semi-transparency. I'm proud of that. Okay, anyways. Yeah. Show me something funny, and then I'm going to hit the road. And I'll let Penny in. Although, I don't see a shadow under the door. Is she, like, missing her cue? Uh-oh. Yeah, fired up. What you got? Feel free to share. In the meantime, let me do this. Links. Link, singular. Hobo Johnson, and check out his images. Okay. Images. Okay. With the hair. And look at my mom in the 90s. That's great. Now, I don't know if she finds it as funny as you do, but that's... There you go. That's great. Oh, man. There you go. Great. Too funny. Oh, I still broke it. Did I? Oh, wait. No, that's right. Why is my links thing not working? Alright, I gotta fix that. Oh, well. You guys know what it is. They're down below. If the usual, please join me on Discord. For anyone else out there, please come over and say hello to me. In the meantime, I will be back on Wednesday. And fine, I will do the whole chat thing. I will really come up. I swear, I will make every effort to try and come up with a legitimate topic. And we'll go that route. Because my productivity is crap. And you see how much I enjoy talking about this stuff anyway. So why not, right? If I can remember it, right? This stuff is seeping out of my head faster than I can, like, blink. Best topics are movies and TV shows. Truly. I'll talk about video games, but since I don't ever get to play them, I'm not as knowledgeable as I used to be. So if we're talking about old games, I can participate. But newer ones, hell, I haven't had a chance to play anything. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we'll focus on movie and TVs and maybe shoehorn in a game reference at some point. All right. So that'll do it for me. I'll see if Penny wants to do a cameo. Otherwise, I will just sneak away. See, this is how much we do gaming here. Yeah, exactly. I'm too busy making them to do it. There you go. Get one more in. Here. Okay, let's see. Wait, I see a shadow now. Here we go. Whoa! There it goes. Don't eat my face. Don't eat my face. Oh, God. I gotta get a towel. I gotta, like, oh my God. Do you have any saliva left in your mouth now? Or is it just all on my face? Oh, God. Oh, more? Okay. After shaving. Alright, Frisbee? Look at that, look at that look. Frisbee? Yeah? Come here. You wanna see how much you love Frisbee? Come here, Frisbee? Frisbee? Okay. Yeah, alright. She is, isn't she? She is a doll. She is a handful, but she's a doll. Alright, I'm gonna go in the backyard and do it for real. That was the squirrel look. Squirrel! Frisbee! That's exactly right. Alright. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. FD Lucchini, thank you so much. Black Dave. Now that's stuck in my head. And I'm still slimed. Alright, I'll be back on Wednesday, and I swear I will really try and find some decent topic, and we'll just go over to chat and see how it goes over there. Okay? Alright, you guys take care, and I will see you in 2 days. Adios.